如果是只海洋就好了。
它等下过来咬你。
Orange flesh, and the green flesh one is peeled the supple, which means the skin of a frog. Because on the outside it looks like a frog.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The long-line swordfish on this is chiliana with a fennel sauce as well as tomato braised onion.
left side, guys. Watch your left side. Watch your left side.
他可以，你不敢。
All right, let's go.